Hello and welcome to CBT in Private Practice. My name's Sarah Rees and today I'm going to do a video on something I'm probably the most unqualified person to do because I'm rubbish with money, and money and business for me has been a tricky area. But you know, I like a business book. I do listen to a lot of audiobooks, and there's a book that's been recommended that I've been putting off reading, but I thought I'd do a little bit of a review for you. So the book is Profit First. So it's by, oh my gosh, Mike Michalski. There you go. I will put a link to it in the show notes. So this book is being talked about all over the place. Lots of people are using it for business, and it is hopefully going to change my life. So I'm going to tell you the basics of it. So I listened to it on Audible, but it was a nice listen, and I got the book because there's things I want to refer back to. I think I left out the last couple of chapters because I want to start using the method, and then you take it a step further. And I think it's actually probably something I'm going to go back and read. So I've got my list today of takeaways, and I'm going to go through it for you. So when you are in private practice as a therapist, generally there'll be a mixture of people that have decided to go as a limited company, or you'll be a sole trader. So they're the two kind of different ways you will be practicing in your business, and that decision's best made with an accountant. And I'm a sole trader, and probably will stick like that really until my accountant, who also does my books, gives me advice and asks me to change something. But I'm quite happy like that, straightforward, simple, and know what I'm doing. It's taken me 5 years to get there. So I'm kind of going to go from if you are a limited company, I guess you have to have a business account, a proper business account. If you are a sole trader, you can just have a separate current account to your personal current account. So set up a business current account. If it's just a normal current account, there's no fees and stuff. That's why people choose that, although there are kind of cheaper versions of business accounts coming on the market now. So you will have one bank account where all your transactions go in and come out from. And the reason that you do that is to simplify your money, because if you have money going into different accounts and going out, if ever you were investigated by the tax people, it becomes really complicated, and they will have to go through everything. If your business just operates from one bank account, then it's a lot more streamlined. So you want all your kind of incomings for your business to go into one bank account, current bank account, and all your costs and expenses for the business go out of that one current account. Okay, so that's what I had. And then I had an account after a bit of time. I had an account for my tax money, and that was linked. And then I had to move it to another bank account and rip up my login details because, I was saving 25% tax, which is great. And then after the first year, because I hadn't realised that I was offsetting my cost of my business from my income, so I had all this money and I could pay my tax bill, had all this money left, so I started dipping into my tax account. That's a really bad idea. I probably save now about 20% to 15% of my monthly incoming as tax, and that really covers me. So you'll find your balance with it. I think I'm going down to 15% really. So have a tax account that's really separate and don't dip into it. That's really good advice, because it's so scary if you can't pay your tax bill. Okay, so this Profit First book, the first kind of lesson, as the title says, is about paying yourself first. Often what we do as business owners is that we pay all our outgoings, everybody else that we need to pay, and then we come right at the bottom. And what you get is this boom and bust. And when you pay yourself first, it feels much nicer, and you have to keep more of an eye on your costs. So there's a mindset shift. So that's one of the reasons it gets you there. One of the first things that I don't know why, but it never occurred to me, is that your wage that you pay yourself, your income, is not profit. Your wage is kind of a cost of your business because you are working in the business, so you need compensation for that work that you do, i.e. your wage. That is not profit, and a successful business needs to be producing profit. So you need to separate those two out. That was like, oh my God, of course. So you need to get a profit bank account as well. Okay. So the idea of profit first comes from dieting. So that's how he kind of came up with the idea that when you're dieting, you cut down on your food, obviously, and you have smaller plates. So he's devised this method where you set up a number of bank accounts. You can have a lot of bank accounts. I think I've got about 5 now. And that is because what I'm going to be doing is spreading my income out into kind of smaller plates, lots of different bank accounts. Okay, so I have got 5 bank accounts, and I'm going to go through them now. And what you do when you get some income, so say you get £100, you decide what amount is going to go to each plate. And the plates are, you need a profit account. And I've got 5% of everything that comes in goes straight to my profit account first. So profit goes first. And I'll tell you what you do with that later. 45% of what I earn goes to my wage account, so I pay myself, and then 30% of what I earn goes into my costs, my expenses account to cover the cost of my business, and that's been really useful to think what percentage of my incoming do I want to spend on costs. It's really got me to focus my eye on costs rather than going shopping. And then there's an account called owner's compensation. Now this account, at the moment I'm putting 5% of everything I earn into that account. Eventually, and it's going to take a while, there will be enough money in there that I want to pay myself a certain amount each month that would just come out of the owner's compensation account. So at the moment, I suppose 50% of my wage, with my wage plate and the owner's compensation plate, I am paying myself 50% of my wage. But at the moment, 45% coming to me, 5% going into another account from which I will eventually pay myself a wage every month. This will mean that if I have a quiet month, it won't matter. My wage will be in another bank account, and it can just come in on the first of every month. A certain amount will hit my bank account, and because I'm doing these percentages all the time, I won't have that boom and bust. I'll have a steady kind of amounts in my bank account, so I won't be affected through a time of a quiet patch, which we all get. We don't know what's going to go on with the economy. Things could change at the drop of the hat. We are very reactive as a society, and as a therapist, we don't want to be in a state of stress. We want to feel quite calm and confident and secure, and being secure with money. You know, there's nothing like money worries to cause an awful lot of stress, and our stress seeps through us to our clients, and you just don't want that. You know, we use our mind as our tool for the work we do, and it's important we keep our stress down. And I'm starting to feel so much more confident using this approach. Okay, and the last bank account is tax. So I've got 5 bank accounts: profit, wage, cost, owner's compensation and tax. A percentage that I've worked out goes into each of those 5 accounts. You decide on the percentages. Now you might have a percentage that you need, like at the moment I've not been great with saving my tax account. It's due the end of July, so the percentage for my tax this month is phenomenal. So I've worked out my percentages, and then actually on a monthly basis I'm working out what percentage needs to go where. Eventually, once I get more settled, every 3 months I'll look at the percentages and I'll see if I can need to tweak them. depending on what results. So it gets me into the mindset of managing my money, having financial reviews, keeping a check on what I'm spending, my outgoings. I am a complete spender. It's a nightmare. Not now, not thank you to profit first. I'm going to be a changed woman. Okay, so every quarter, so let's come back to the profit account. This is the most important bank account. So you save, at the moment I'm saving 5% of my, everything that comes into my business goes to my profit account. Every 3 months, what you do is you go to your profit account and you take 50%, and that is your bonus. Straight to Charlotte Tilbury, straight to the shops, and treat yourself. How nice is that going to be? Okay. And then the other 50% stays in the profit account. 3 months later, you take 50% again, and 50% stays in the profit account. And that bank account will start building money. That becomes the money that you will use if ever you are unwell, need to take time off work, you know, you're sick, major emergencies. So it's an account you want it really separate from everything you do, because ideally I've wanted to do this since I started in private practice, is have 6 months in the bank account aside in case of emergencies or I need to be unwell. And I was unwell when I started in private practice for a few months, so a bit of a hairy time. Did I learn? No, I didn't. But when you're in the NHS and you've got a salary job, generally you've got 3 to 6 months of paid leave. When you work for yourself, unless you get income protection, that's another option, you can do that. But it's, you know, I think there's so many things around that about what could, you know, what type of illness you get and stuff. You really do need a good chunk of savings just in case, so that if something happened, you had to take a month off work, it doesn't affect your salary. That peace of mind, oh my God, it's going to be worth its weight in gold. And I'm finally I feel like I've got a method to get there. So the profit account, is where that money is going to end up. What this book also talks about is compound. That the more you save, that money attracts money and it starts building and building. And I'm going to talk you through, bearing in mind, you do need to go and seek professional financial advice, because I am like the most unqualified. I have read one book, okay, and because I've not done it well. So you're going to learn from my mistakes, hopefully. So there's something called compound. So if in your profit account you save £100 a month, after the first 3 months you'll have £300. You'll withdraw £150 straight to the shops. The second quarter you'll have £450 and you'll be able to withdraw £223 straight to the shops. Big treat, because that's why you work so hard. That's, you know, it's a real reflection of everything you put into your business and how well you're doing. I mean, we need to be doing this. And then the third quarter, after, you'd have £525 in the profit account and you take out 262. So you can see every quarter that bonus, that profit money that you're going to get for your bonus to spend on whatever you want is growing and growing and growing, as well as you are growing your sick pay. Now I'm only putting in 5%, but you can see that, and the purpose of the book, what it says is that you need to get excited about saving. This is going to get me excited about saving my money. You need to want to start to save. The other thing you need to do is start thinking about debts as well, if you've got any debts. And I think, if I remember correctly, they say to take that initially out of the owner's compensation bank account. And the best way to pay debts off, line them all up, pay the least off first. Now you think it'd be the one with the most interest, but what he was talking about is that you want to get that gratification of feeling like you clear stuff. So you always start with the smallest debt first and then work your way up. And that's called snowball, managing your debt the snowball way. So I hope that's been interesting, but I would really, recommend, if you're like me and a little bit rubbish, it looks like a boring book. Listen to it if you think you're never going to pick that up and read it. You'll hear lots of people talking about it. Really liked it, really enjoyed it. So let me know what you think. Okay, look forward to hearing from you. Bye.